Conservative National Party candidate Nasry Asfura is in front of the Honduran presidential election. Preliminary results Monday showed him winning 41% of the votes counted so far. Liberal Party candidate Salvador Nasralla was in second place with about 39%, though he cast doubt on the figures from the country's electoral council, saying they could have been manipulated by the ruling Libre Party. Its candidate Rixi Moncada was in third place on 20%. Hondurans headed to the polls on Sunday to vote in a tightly fought presidential election beset by accusations of fraud in one of Latin America's poorest countries. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau warned that the U.S. will respond swiftly and decisively to anyone who undermines the integrity of the democratic process in Honduras. On Election Day itself, some voters were told they could no longer vote past 5 p.m., with some locations appearing to close while people were still waiting. That despite the Electoral Council extending polling station hours until 6 p.m. It also gave individual voting stations the authority to remain open an additional hour. That all left this would-be voter frustrated.
I found out they had already closed and told me they could no longer assist me. I came to vote 4 years ago, and even though it was late, they let me vote. You have to understand that I left work late. I left work at 5 p.m., and they tell me that they can't let me in, that the voting station is closed. So where's my right as a voter?
In the capital, electoral observer Edma Limauco reported polling stations closing, despite voters still being in line.
They are not allowed to vote, and the door is closed in their faces. We cannot remain silent about this.
Sunday's vote was also set to choose the 128 members of Congress, hundreds of mayors, and thousands of other public officials. But it took place in a highly polarized climate, with the top candidates hurling accusations of possible fraud at each other. Moncada suggested she may not recognize the official results. Donald Trump also weighed in on the race, backing Asfura in social media posts. The U.S. president said he could work with him to counter drug trafficking, and that if he doesn't win, the United States will not be throwing good money after bad. On Friday, Trump also said he would pardon former Honduras President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who is serving a 45-year prison sentence in the U.S. on drug trafficking and firearms charges. Hernandez, who led Honduras from 2014 to 2022, was also of the National Party.